Hello everyone, this is Solomon. I am here to explain you about queue implementation. So queue implementation is nothing but it is similar to stack implementation, but in stack we have only one way inside and the same way outside to push or pop the elements. But in the case of queue we have two ways. So one way is to enter an element and one way is to pop the elements outside. In stack implementation, we use push and pop, but in queue implementation, we use DQ and NQ. So NQ is nothing but entering an element. DQ is nothing but deleting an element in the simple language. So the display option is the same for queue and stack. So now I'm going to explain you with a few pictures where you can understand easily. So yeah. So first I'm gonna enter an element one. Like it's like here is front. This is rear. We call the first entering gate. We can take it as gate in our language, simple language. Just we'll take as entering gate and exiting gate. So in entering gate, when we enter an element, it's 21. Then we enter an element, another element, then another element, then another element. So in this way we enter the elements. So yeah, if we take the second picture, this gives us clear example like first item, second item, third item, fourth item. So when we enter all these items, so first item will be removed, second item will be removed in the second stage, third item will be removed in the third stage. In this way, yeah, even you can see here front and rear. So when we enter the element, all this will be filled, and first we need to remove this element, then this, then this, then this. So we have another way. When we remove the element, it comes in this way and falls outside. So uh, when we go to the coding part, so front and rear, both the words are here. So front is here and the rear is here. So when an element is incremented, it is enqueued, then the front will be incremented. So when the element is dequeued, then the rear will be incremented. This will be useful in our coding part. So let's see our code, how this looks like. A complete code is written here. And one more thing, this condition will be until and unless all the elements are removed, then only we can add the new elements. First we need to remove all the elements which are present in the queue, then only we can add the other elements. Yeah, you can see this picture, you can know. So we can remove all the elements, then only we can add some other element. So yeah, we'll go to our code. This is our code. Yeah, so we have created a class, it's queue, and we are declaring here definite init self comma cap. We can take cap as anything, it's a variable. You can take abc as we know. And self dot q, this is a compulsory. It's like a keyword we need to use to take the value into the queue. So self is a compulsory when we create a class in python. So I'm doing this code using python. So q self dot q is equals to, sorry, self dot cap is equal to cap. When the values will come here, all these values will be stored here. So self dot rear is equals to -1, self dot front is equals to -1, as I said in our picture. So this need to be incremented when the element is enqueued, and rear should be incremented when an element is removed from the queue. So that's why we are using -1 and -1. So we are defining a function here, is full is a self. So return self dot rear is equals to double equal to self dot cap -1. So here rear is full or not. So if all the elements are full, then it will print the rear is full. So if elements are, no elements are left. So after running the code, I'm going to show you how it's going to print if there is no elements. If we want to decode a number, so how it's going to print. So is empty. If it is empty, it will use this condition and print. So here, from here our main code starts. Here it is enqueue. As we use uh, push in a stack, we are using enqueue in queue. So NQ self comma value. I use as VAL. This is a variable. So variables can be anything, whatever we want, we can keep. So we are checking the condition here. We are not iterating any looping statement. So we are checking the condition if and else. So these are the checking to check the condition. We use elif, else, and if. So if self dot is full, then print overflow. So if the stack is if a queue is full, if we want to still enter an element, it will show as overflow when we want to enter when the queue is full. So if a queue is not full, if the queue is empty, if a queue is having some places, some storage value, then it will comes to else part. If self dot front double equal to -1, we are using this to set the position of an element entered by the user. So self dot front is equals to 0. So self dot rear plus 1. So the position of the rear will be incremented when we enq, as I said. Yeah, as I said, when we enter a value, the front and rear values will be incremented. So yeah, front value will be incremented, and self dot q is equal to self dot rear is equals to value. This value will be stored here and return this value. So this value will be returned to print the statement, to print the value. So here we are decoding the value. So self dot is empty. So if it is empty, then it will be like we can enter the element. So in else case, if the stack is empty, we can use the elements. So x is equals to self dot q, self dot front. So front value, here we will be incrementing front value. So if the front value is incremented, the value of the rear will be constant. It will not be incremented, but it will be constant. So these values will be checked here. Conditions will be checked if condition, because the self dot front double equal to self dot rear. So if both the places, I'm going to tell you clearly. If the both the places, see, let us take here. Just imagine there's no 5. It's only of these many boxes, 4 up to 4. I think I cannot write. Yeah, whatever. So only 4 values are there. This is not there. Then if we consider 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 only are there. So if 0 and 1 values are removed and 3 and 4 values are removed, so only one value is left in the middle. So to check this condition, if only one value is there in the queue, to check this condition, we use this statement. This line is used for that. Um, if self dot front is equal to self dot rear, so both the values, front value and rear value, if both are equal, then it will do the function self dot front is equal to self minus rear. So then this will be removed from the stack. So else self dot front equal to self dot, if there is no element, then this will increment the value. So x will be written, that is nothing but the values left out here. So here is the display function we are using. We are defining the function self for I in range, self comma range plus 1. So here we are using to print all the values what are present in the queue after decoding or before decoding, or after NQ or DQ, what after NQ or DQ, after NQing or DQing. To print the values, we use the display statement. So Q is equals A is equals to Q10. So this can be anything. So I want to enter 10 values. So when I enter 10 values, if I want to enter an 11th value into the queue, it will show, it will print queue is overflow. So to avoid that, if you use 100 here, you can enter 100 values. If I use 5, I can enter 5 values. So if I enter anything, that many values we can enter. So I'll go with 5. So only 5 I can enter, 5 values I can enter. Thus I'll go with 7. So we are checking the so while true. So that when all these conditions will be true, print choose your option. So if an user want to enqueue the element, so all this will be printed when he runs the code. So enter your option. So I will enter 1, then it will enqueue. I'll enter 2, then it will DQ. I'll enter 3, then it will display. When I enter 4, it will exit from the code. So when this character, the values of all this will be stored in character. C is equal to input integer, because we cannot enter. I want an option of 2.3. There is no option for 2.3. So it should be an integer. It should not be a floating value. It should be an integer. That's why we are using int. So int input enter. So this is a statement for the user. You can have anything here. Entered value is, so the entered value is, so this will print what the user have entered. So if the ch, the character, nothing but the value entered by the user is 1, then this value will check the condition. If value is entered by a user, then it will do what is there in the option 1, enqueue. So this will call the function. So a dot enqueue value. So the value entered will be stored here. This value will go through this function, that is enqueue. So we are calling the function here. Function call is done here. So in this way, this will go and do the work in enqueue. And when we take the condition for second, if he enters the second, so dq, so this will print the this will be printed. The dq item is, so the element what is dq'd will be printed here. This will go and do call the function as to dq. So third character is to display. If you enter this, it will display the value. So I'm gonna do here, just a second, is enqueue dq, yeah. So else character, if it enters the value 3, this will go through display. Else either of this, it will break the condition and it will come out of the loop. Or we can use one more elif statement and use 4, and then we can break. There's two options. We can go through anyway. So there's no use of this. Even if we remove this, that's not going to affect anything our code. So we'll run our code and check. So I want to enter in value. First I will enqueue one value, then I'm going to enter a value 9, then I will enter the value 1. I want to enqueue, I will enter the value 8. So our values are 9 and 8. Then again I want to enqueue a value, that is yeah, again I want to enter a value 1. So I want to enter a value again. I will go with 7. So I'll dequeue an element. So I will dequeue an element. So the dequeued element is 9, and your option. Let us display here. Dequeue item is here, and will parallelly we'll go with display. Yeah. So let me stop this code, and again let me run, so that when we dequeue, the values will be printed parallelly. So 1 I want to enter 9, 1 I want to enter 8, 1 I want to enter 7, 1 I want to enter 6. So our values are 9, 8, 7 and 6. So in the stack, if we enter in this way, the first value will be popped out as 6, then 7, then 8, because the values entered is first number is 9, so it will be in the base. So we cannot remove the base in stack, but in queue, when we enter in this order, we can remove the first element 9 in the first itself. So when we dequeue the values, second we will check it. So the dequeued value is 9. Let's comment this line. Yeah. So let me rerun the code again, so that this will be good. 1 9 1 8 1 7 1 6 1 5. So my values are 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5. These are the values in my queue. As I give queue maximum limit as 7, so I can enter up to only 7 values, but I am taking only 2 to 5 values. You can enter up to 7. You can keep it 100 here and you can take 100 values. So I am dequeuing the values now. So the dequeue value is 9. So first element is 9 is removed. Then I'm gonna uh, dequeue it again. The dequeued value is 7. Then again I'm going to dequeue the value, that is 5 is dequeue, and again I want to take the values out. So stack is overflow, so there is no place. So this condition is becoming true here. So dequeue stack is overflow when there is empty, when there is no elements in the queue, that will print as overflow. So in this way we can see the queue implementation. uh, we can enter the first element, and first element will be removed out. As we have a shortcut for uh, queue stack as a first in last out. In the same way we can have first in first out. The element which is entered in the first will be removed first, that is called first in first out. So this is all in this video. This is about queue implementation. Frequently getting stack because last code was stack of me. So this is all in this video. This is about queue implementation. Thank you.